Hello, YouTube internet, friends and foes. I thought I'd ramble a little bit because it's been a while, and I want to just get caught up to a few. What am I catching up to? What am I catching up? I'm catching up to the idea that I haven't done anything for a week or more, and I want to maintain my presence on YouTube, and I want to talk about attaching our passions to monetizing or to earnings, attaching passion to earnings. And I was just listening to the truther girl, Sonia, and she's found Jesus, which is fabulous. I left a comment. She was saying that YouTube has demonetized most of her videos because they don't like, the advertisers don't like her material. Fucking A, Sonia, you're doing the right thing. You're obviously doing the right thing. So if they demonetize, if YouTube demonetizes you, you're doing the right thing. I'm not monetized. I unclick monetization because attaching your passion to money will sink your ship. So my advice to Sonia, the truther girl, is don't attach your passion to monetizing. Yes, you have to make a living. Well, everybody has to stay alive and make a living. It's not an issue. It's like for me to come on and say, oh, you know, I need your help. I need your support. I understand. I understand. There is fundraising for something, a project that you want to do. But in the sense of just because I'm here and I do this stuff, give me your money, makes no sense to me. It's like me making a painting and saying, I'm not going to make the painting unless I'm going to sell it. And after 45 years of doing this, I think I've learned better. And the whole idea that people attach a lot of importance to the youthful, the energy, that wonderful energy, that's fabulous. Let's support the youthful energy. But there is a great deal of value in people who've had experience, and I listen to people that have had experience. I don't listen, or I'm not attracted to the energy of someone. I'm attracted to the wisdom, something that has made sense to a person, and they pass it on. This is sort of like, this is how humanity has survived, because somebody has figured something out and they pass it on, because not because they're monetizing their passion, but because they want to pass it on. They want somebody else to benefit from their experience, from them having understood something about what it means to be alive. And I'm just bringing up the truther girl who is complaining that YouTube is cutting her off because her videos she talks about vaccines, and she talks about the oligarchy, and she talks about the world order. And obviously that's going to ruffle the feathers of Coca-Cola and Monsanto and the agro business and the weaponized culture that we live in. They're not going to like that. So what are you talking about, Sonia? You're making videos, you're creating content that criticizes the people that are trying to sell shit to people. It doesn't, you see, you cannot monetize your passion. So my comment, one I want to just sort of ramble about, I haven't done a video for a while, so I think I just wanted to keep my presence going on YouTube. And there have been backlashes. Like anything that you do that is of value, people are going to really resent you for it, because if you upset the apple cart, if you are a nonconformist, there are going to be people that really dislike what you're doing, and that just comes. It's part of the whole thing. And what I've talked about, the attack dogs that come out. And if you're attacked, you're doing the right thing. Okay, let me put it this way. 9 out of 10 times you're doing the right thing if you have attack dogs on your tail. And I've heard people saying, oh, you know, the SGT report, I think it was on SGT, they're talking about that if there's a channel that has a lot of subscribers, then and you and no, it wasn't that. It was Russian vids. It was Russian vids. The guy, I really like this guy. He's exposing all the hoaxes on the operations that are going around worldwide, the terrorists that are infiltrating our culture, ISIS, Taliban, Al Qaeda, all these people that are infiltrating us, but they're creating havoc. And this is the havoc that is being created. These people have exposed it. I love Russian vids. He's producing evidence to suggest or to even make us question that the consensual or what is conceived to be true is fake. It's fake. It's not true. And, you know, maybe some things are true, but I would say most of it is untrue. So what I'm saying is if you're making videos, if you're doing YouTubes, and you have a calling, you have a desire, you present a presence. You don't monetize that presence and be subject to the Lord God of YouTube. This is a no-brainer. You're going to be pummeled because this is not how the world works. The world is being controlled by a very small group of people, and you have to research this yourself. I can't convince you of this. And my thing about YouTube is creating a context. And here I want to just sort of put a it's there's so much stuff here. I do this ad lib and I try to stay true to the feeling of spontaneity and understanding about something because I rely on a history of having understood certain things over. In my own case, I've been making paintings for over 45 years. Probably closer to, now it's 50 years. I said 45 years 5 years ago, so it's probably closer to 50 years. So I'm trying to encapsulate and make a statement about how things work. And one thing I want to say again, do not monetize your passions. It's going to bite you in the ass. It doesn't work. It's going, I'm going to clarify this to some extent, that if you have a project, and here in Canada, we have the National Arts Council. I think in the US, they have the Endowment of the Arts, the National Endowment for the Art, NEA. And there are organizations through governmental institutions that support projects. And I think and I'm going to have to clarify this because I don't believe in taking a freebie. But if you have a project, if there's something that you really want to do and you need to raise funds, there are organizations that say, present us with your material and we'll fund you. And I think that's absolutely valuable. It is absolutely, even in the public domain, that if you say, look, I want to do this thing, I have a project, this is legitimate. I like this. I really do like this. But don't expect an organization like YouTube to fund your project if you're criticizing YouTube. YouTube is the establishment. It's conformity on steroids. YouTube is conformity on steroids. And the people that succeed in YouTube are entertainers and decorators. So if you're doing anything other than that, you're not going to get anywhere. And I think that if I were to synopsize this little dissertation that I'm doing, God, conscience, and YouTube. And people that rely on an to externalize this feeling that we have, this passion, that you have something burning inside you. And I'm not talking to people who are sitting back and just sort of, this is not the person I'm talking to. I'm talking to people that have had an experience of this excitement of being able to feel something in themselves that is larger than themselves. That is something that makes one feel, well, I can do this, even though it's an incredible challenge, but I am up to it. I want to do this thing. And you can't monetize that. There is no value attached to it because it's the first time anyone has ever done that. It's not Walmart. It's not like a shelf of things that you pick off a shelf. You've done it the first time. Sonia, you've done it the first time if you're true to yourself. So expecting monetization from that, it may flop, it may fly. I don't know. However it works. And within the context of all my videos over the last 6 and some years after Fukushima blew up on March 11th, 2011, everything has changed. So my own passion has shifted in the sense that I understand we're in the fight for our lives. We are in the fight for our lives. And how do I, within my scope of how I operate, how do I live up to that understanding? It's like if, I imagine people in the past, incredible people that have produced work of value. If we look at Caravaggio or Michelangelo or Giotto or Vincent van Gogh, or you name the person that you love, that you attach yourself to in terms of their brilliance, there is a level of overcoming. And it's not in a moment that you feel this, that it's, oh, this is really fabulous and brilliant. No, it's you have to actually do the work in order to realize the brilliance, or whatever it is. I don't even want to call it brilliance. Whatever it is that is of value that you've produced. You have to do it. You have to do it. And you're going to do it whether or not somebody likes it or not. And if we're fighting for our lives, this is the consummate passion at this time, in the 21st century. The consummate passion within all of humanity should be to save all life on this planet. And to have extinctions going on continuously every day, thousands of species, thousands of not just the creatures, but actually that genre of species being eliminated because we're such fuck-ups. We've allowed the criminal syndicates to run the show on every level. And the nuclear criminal syndicate is at the top. It's the jewel in the crown. If you look at all the destruction, starting right back, what I say to Akhenaten, who usurped our birthright by making us into followers. We are followers now to some kind of concept that actually established itself about 5,000 years, 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. That said, if you believe in me, I'll take care of you. Well, we know where that got us, right? So as soon as you comply with the idea that, oh, they're going to take care of you, that's not how it works. No, we see to the contrary. If everything is being destroyed, what do I have to say? What is it that we need to understand about this history that doesn't work? So it comes down, and this is my context. This is what I say. This is what I've been saying all along. That within the framework of our abilities, how we proceed every day, if we can personally make the world a better place every day, and I'm not talking about stopping Monsanto or the criminal syndicates that are out there. I'm saying if we can make the world a better place every day in some small way, we are actually part of the solution. And the people that will have the bigger solution on how to mitigate this radiation out of the environment will actually be born. They will be brought to life through our passion. And our passion is not monetized on YouTube. It doesn't work that way. We have an effect on the people around us because they love us. They say, do what this person does. The inspiration within another person. That is the context that I'm trying to give. And to blame anyone outside of the usual suspects is totally irrelevant. To refer to the sheep and the people not waking up, you realize this. This is of no value to you and me. I'm talking to people that are actually understanding this. So to revert and to rely on blaming people and calling them names is of no value. because you already understand. You'll just feel offended in some form, I suppose. Well, the way I do, I feel offended when somebody says, "You morons, you whatever names you want to call people." It doesn't really lift me up. It just depresses me. It makes me feel worse about myself. So stop it. Stop it. What you need to do, what I need to do every day, is try to make the world a better place through our passions. And you don't monetize, meaning you don't get something, you don't do something because you're going to get some benefit from it. That's not how it works. I don't know why. I wish it did, but this is how the bastards have taken over, because they've convinced you and me that if you think in these sort of mental derangements, these psychotic arrangements, that you're actually going to gain something by punishing someone else, it doesn't work. That's not how life works. Life is based on the idea that we give of ourselves. Why should it be that way? Well, no, I'd rather be selfish. After me, I talked to somebody recently who said that, when they're gone, they don't care. Yeah, I suppose that's a worldview you can have, but what a sad worldview. It's like to see yourself as just an entity by themselves. This is a lonely, lonely existence. To see yourself as someone who existed, and after you're gone, it doesn't matter. What supreme loneliness that would be. The ultimate loneliness would be based on that kind of a concept. To say that, well, after I die, I don't care. What a lonely life. What a complete lonely life. I guess that's about it. Don't attach your passions to earning, whatever that might be, whether it's money, whether it's accolades, whether it's fame, whether it's glory. It doesn't work that way. I don't know why. It's just how the universe is built. The reality we decided to accept is not built on that premise. The premise that works is that you give of yourself and you make the world a better place. And you know what I would say to the people that really don't want to be involved? I would say, okay, if you're neutral, this is an interesting thing for me, because I don't think you can be neutral in this. I think you have to make a stand for life at this point. You can't step back and say, well, you know what, I will do no harm. I find that a bunch of hooey. When you know that we're in dire straits, I think it's up to each one of us to pick a fight. And when I say pick a fight, it's in the sense that, like this idea of passion, that you let yourself filter down into what really matters. What matters to you on a very personal, individual level, and let that extend into a larger realm. I think that's how it works. It's just a thought. And if that sort of makes sense to you, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. And the complainers, the people that are complaining about how bad the world order, everything is going to hell in a handbasket, all that. Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, well, come on. It's like flogging this horse. This horse is dead. This oligarchy, this system that we have relied on to give us a platform to exist on has failed. It's not working. It's not working. So why would you flog that horse? It's an alternative. What is the alternative? That's what I'm about. What is the alternative? And the alternative is to produce the work through your own dedication and passion. Not because you're going to be rewarded, rewarded. You're going to be rewarded because you're going to feel fucking fantastic for having made a contribution to something that isn't, that changes the course of something that isn't working. I hope that makes sense. I've been away. Yeah, I've been away. So stop monetizing God. God's, like George Carlin said, God's somebody that seems to be bad with money. He needs a lot of money. So stop following in that path that has been created, the platform that's been created. Forget about that. Just do the thing that makes you feel good about yourself every day.